Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that again. Operation Doomsday by MF Doom, the debut album from the Supervillain. We've covered his albums in the past, and this one I found interesting because it was a little bit more of a jazz influence than some of his other stuff.
I'm glad that you picked up on the jazz as well, and I'm excited to be doing the legend once again. Of course, R.I.P. We kind of did it in a really weird order because we did Madvillainy, and then we did Food, and then we did this one.
Well, that's what we do here. We do things ass backwards on the SIW show.
We do.
The first album under the MF Doom moniker, at least, because we know he's released past records with KMD, so this is kind of his first return to the spotlight after many years of grieving over the sudden passing of his brother. Without further bullshit, what's the first one?
Doomsday.
Doomsday.
No. Yeah.
Only Doom can secure the Stephen Hawking feature on his debut album. We hear a much more different sounding Doom on Doomsday, as he sounds a lot more aggressive than he does in some of his later projects that you can almost hear in his voice. He has something to prove here.
The way that he made the drum beat match his flow was perfect. It was spot on. To kick it off with this song talking about how he is the MC, what the hip-hop rules are in terms of him and how he rules it, just matches his personality perfect.
Doom always goes for the jazzy and blues type beats, but on this one it has much more of a laid back and relaxing feel than others. The electric piano with the Sade sample in the beginning and the end make you feel like you're sitting in a jazz club. This song is about the rules of rhyming, and he lays down the law with some of his nicest rhymes, specifically the hook where he uses his name as a double meaning, dumile and doom will lay. Wasn't our introduction to Doom, but it was for many and is quite a special one, so I gave it an 8.5.
I give this one an 8.
We first start to hear the classic Doom sound with rhymes like dimes as he spits over a Quincy Jones song with that heavenly warm synthesizer. This one and Doomsday are legitimately there among Doom's top instrumentals, I think, next to Rap, Snitches, and Accordion.
Rap, Snitches, Knishes. Once again, he brings out the comedic and perfect flow about how he's selling his rhymes like drugs. The funky synth sound for the background, and then the overall just repetition of the instrumental aspects of it really bring it all together as a great follow-up, I think, from Doomsday.
My favorite bar in the whole thing is, only in America can you find a way to earn a healthy buck and still keep your attitude on self-destruct, recognizing that here you have so many more privileges than you do in other countries, regardless of your skin color, because Doom is the greatest American. Doom better look out though, because he's gonna get canceled. He even dropped the Land O'Lakes bar in here. The reason I'm not totally into lyrical rap, there's always this shit-ass beat put together, like this really simplistic, boring beat. It's like the horse picture that you were talking about in an earlier episode. But Doom brings the whole package here and puts together a masterclass of what lyrical rap should be like. So I gave this one an 8.5 as well.
A 7.5.
On the finest, Doom spits over the Toy Story 2 game soundtrack. You're a real one if you get that reference. I'm starting to see a pattern here on these Doom albums. As soon as Doom disappears, the song turns to ass, just like that. Just instant ass.
Oh, thank you. I was worried it wasn't just me.
Aside from the fact that it sounds like
Tommy Gunn
as rapping into a potato, the flow is all over the place. I guess the debut album, he didn't have much of a budget, but it sounds like Doom picked up an SM57 and he's like, here, you get a dollar store calculator.
It's a very basic beat. I think it's basic because he wanted to focus it more on his rhymes. You know, I think if you can fast forward to Doom's parts, it's not as bad.
But the thing is, they sandwich them so close together, it's like, how the fuck are you gonna follow up Doom like that? You're not gonna come like that and follow up Doom. I gotta respect him though for putting other artists on here, sharing different types of sound, and maybe
Tommy Gunn
is like one of the best MCs ever, but it's not evident at all on this track. Minimal Beat didn't prop it up either. This song is going to hold an SIW record. Our first rating of 5.5.
Oh, I like how you said sandwiched. It's a good way to describe it. So I gave this one a 6.
I figured you might like this one because it's more the Eminem style, you know, lyrical miracle, Al Jazeera-ical thing over a minimal type beat.
I like that they sampled Ain't No Price on Happiness by the Spinners and then Truly Yours by Cool G Rap. He was able to take these beats that you didn't really think could be put into a song properly, and then he matched his flow perfectly with it. Most people have a hard time matching that type of flow, which you saw in the song before. He seems to pull it off perfectly because he is.
Percussion to me stood out the most, which as you talked about is by Cool G Rap, with more hi-hat and snare action than usual, and somehow has a cool laid back feel despite the crazy percussion and the more aggressive flow, so I give this one a 7.
Yeah, I like how Doom also seemed to come a little hard on this one, kind of like the first one, so I give this one a 7 as well.
I have been waiting for this one since I saw MF Grimm on the feature list. We touched a little bit on Doom's history with Grimm in our food review, which you should go watch. New favorite Doom quote: "The more you know you don't know shit." That's going to be in like the white girl Instagram scriptures. I'm going to have that. I think Grimm said it best. The song is a roller coaster ride. The constant tempo changes take the listener for a wild ride, but Grimm and Doom match it the whole time without ever getting thrown off. Grimm drops one of the hardest features in Doom's discography, spitting with power but staying monotone at the same time. It's something you don't hear from anyone else, and it's because it's such a tough thing to do, to rap effectively but also keep an eye on the BPM.
Did you even take a breath in that? That you should put a beat behind you when you say that part in the video.
The constant tempo changes take the listener for a wild ride. Grimm also used some creative sports metaphors to describe the rap game. It's a shame that they had a falling out and Doom is gone, because I'd like to hear more from this duo. They did do a collab album in 2000, which may be our next Doom video. Stay tuned. The creativity and skill can't be denied. This one is another 8.5.
I give this one 7.5.
The beat sounds like something you'd hear in the perfume aisle at Macy's. He also refers to the red and gold colors, meaning the changes of the leaves and the colors of fall. So this is Doom the white girl. But what Doom actually talks about is the seasonal selection of murders.
Yes. Yeah, I like how he can make you think you're walking in the park looking at the leaves change, but he's also talking about being the villain. It's got a chill, relaxed rhyme that fits the song perfectly as usual. The jazz aspect is great. I don't think a lot of people appreciate jazz for what it really is.
The interesting upbeat feel for a song about Doom's darkest memories, recounting murders in the streets and thinking about ones to come. I give this one a 7.
I gave it a 7 also.
Here's the pattern again. I give this one a Where's Doom out of 10.
I'll go with that too. That's a safe one. Hey.
Doom low in the mix with the bass hits and the violin create a really mysterious vibe. The violin sounds like something out of The Dark Knight. Lots of similarities between this one and Rap Beef from Food, especially with the beat that matches Doom's skits, like with the 80s superhero cartoon feel.
He sampled Scooby-Doo instrumental. The fact that this man can take sounds from Scooby-Doo and turn it into this fire piece of music just shows that he needs to be living in a $10 million mansion with 100 bitches. Who else could do that? Who else could watch the 1972 Scooby-Doo movie and make it into a rap song? It just shows his massive innovation as an MC.
He does a good job of narrating his style, but does it in a way that it sounds like you're describing a true comic book villain. The lowness of his voice in the mix also has you listening deep to it, which allows you to appreciate the whole feel of the song more as you submerge yourself in the beat while listening to his bars. So I give this one a 7.5.
I give this one a 7.5 as well.
Some of the bars here were inspired by a conversation with his wife in which he accused him of wanting to bang other chicks, and instead of defending himself, he's like, shit, I'm gonna write a song about that.
Yeah, real, I was gonna say a word I can't say. The offbeat drum intro and the old school classic music type beat, once again, is just something so cool to me.
A lot of rhymes that stand out on this one. Specifically, it's funny how significance can make a difference. Notice parables of 3 in every other instance. That bar is referring to his Monster Island character, who's a 3-headed dragon. It's cool to see Doom go for the minimal beat again so he could flex his rhymes. I give this one a 7.
He shows off his skills once again. As a perfect debut album for him, so I give it a 7.
Hell no. Hell no. I know Doom's not talking about banging 13-year-olds. No. No. No.
Are you sure?
No.
You're not sure?
I like the beat, though, and the vibe is a really nice use of the sample, so I give it a 7.5.
Oh, okay. I think the simple drum beat accompanied by the backup vocals and the certain synth keyboard sounds are pretty good, so I give this one a 6.5.
Doom singing like a bird on the opening part. Again, the beat with the strings and the percussion going beautifully together. Doom is cemented in it as he does the typical bragging that a rapper does.
I like the eerie beat with the steady drum beat. This guy's hilarious. Talks about hookers. Yeah, I'm just reading through it. It's nice.
Even though it's one of the shorter ones at 2 minutes, it's sonically one of the standouts, not just for the beat, but also the flow that he puts down. So I give this one an 8.
I give it a 7.
Drawls to me is another standout. Doom showing off the nuanced ear sampling Steely Dan, which other than the Quincy Jones and Sade are one of the first Doom samples that I recognized immediately.
The drum keyboard intro and the way he sampled Black Cow by Steely Dan, and then once again he puts his perfect rhymes down. Really did just spit like straight fire for most of the song. I would have to give this one a 7.5.
The style this was recorded in gives it a live performance feel with some of the extra reverb on the vocals along with the Steely Dan instrumental that gives it a really unique sound, so I give it a 7.5 as well. Doom pays tribute to his late brother on what's the album closer. Curious brings a nice flow to the track as well as contrasting nicely with Doom. Sandwiched between the cartoon samples Doom is known for, the lyrics and the memories he lays down of his late brother are tear-jerking. Truly closes out Doom's part of the record in a special way.
The comic book quips and talks, it's so unique in his style. That's the one thing you can't take away from him, is nobody really does or did stuff like he did, especially the way to basically close out the album with this, like you said. It was really cool that he would finish it talking about his brother.
I give it a 7.5.
Oh, so did I, 7.5.
Overall, an impressive debut for the new Supervillain, the reincarnated Supervillain. Looking back on this, it holds up well, even with some of the production issues. I mean, he was always low budget throughout his career, but especially on this one being the debut. And I look forward to that collab tape that we're going to do soon.
This album was a way for Doom to really make himself known. His use of the quips and the jazz and classical samples really brought to the table something that nobody else was really doing at the time, even to this day still, as well as perfectly laying his rhymes down over these unique beats. Really shows the world that we really did lose a legend last year, unfortunately.
I give it an 8.
7.5.